Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of my podcast. My name's Tame Storm, and this is going to be episode 2, like I already stated, of my weekly podcast. I don't have a real title or name for it, anything you can label it as, but it will be found here on this channel every week, and they'll most likely be out. I'm planning on putting them out every Monday night, Tuesday morning, so you guys can listen to it in the morning if you like. That's how I usually do listen to my podcast. That's how I usually go about it. I listen to them in the morning on my way to work or at work, and that's what I'm trying to do here for you guys. Give you something to listen to. Man, a lot of mumbling to give you guys something to listen to in the morning. I'm gonna try to speak a lot more clearly. Usually, like I'm not being recorded when I speak, so I just say whatever at any pace. But I'm gonna try to be better about that with you guys. I listened to some of my first episode, and I gotta admit, I slurred some stuff. I talked pretty quickly. The audio was very low, very, very low, and I plan on fixing all that gradually. Right now, I'm gonna try to do my best for you guys. And is any feedback or recommendations you guys have, any advice for how I should go about this better, please let me know. All right, so let's start episode 2. All right, so first off, I want to talk about the Street Fighter 5 tournament that happened within the last week, where Infiltration won, I believe, and he picked Rashid the entire tournament through. And I'm not sure why he did it. Whether it was to prove a point that Rashid's good, Rashid's not bad, maybe Rashid's not as broken as everybody thinks that Rashid is as a character, or maybe he just wants to start subbing Rashid because I believe at Evo he also picked Fong along with Nash. And Infiltration's always been known as like a multi-character guy. He's just really good with a lot of characters. He labs a lot. So it was really weird to see him break out his Rashid. And if you watch the matches, I'll put a link in the description of this going towards the recordings for the matches that I watched it that I watched that I watch it. Uh there was a lot of like light kicks and stand jabs and just a lot of like jab checking, and he never really got too called out for it, but it was hard for me watching to get a good read on his playstyle. There was a lot of run up buttons and no real DPs, no real bust outs. But not everybody there had a DP character. There was a Birdie in top three, I believe, or top four. So Birdie doesn't really have like he's an armored reversal, but Rashid jab checks, crouching down forward, heavy punch, all that kind of stuff. He doesn't really care. I don't know. I heard that that matchup is weird. LPN knows all about that. He got the really good matchup. Even got a chart for it, but that's other news. And yeah, so that's just my quick thought on that. I don't really have much to talk about for that. I like Street Fighter 5, kinda, but I'm not like super big on talking about it all the time. Whenever a big tournament happens and it's really awesome, then I can talk about it. But I can't just. This podcast cannot be all about Street Fighter 5. So I want to switch topics from that. One thing I want to talk about real quick. It's not really game related so much as it is FGC and event related. I kind of thought you always hear people give horror stories for events or give like these god like oh my god the event was so awesome stories. But I don't generally hear a lot of advice for people going to events like for FGC for real FGC events. I've never been to West Coast. I've been to Combo Breaker in Midwest. I've been to locals around, East Coast, Northeast, and I've been to Big E majors. And that's pretty much it. But I've been to a few Big E majors now, like 9, I believe, maybe. I didn't enter all of them, but I've been to about 9. So I've been to probably 10 majors in total. I know it's not like the most in the world, but oh, I've been to EC, like I've been to regionals a lot, but I kind of want to give some tips and ideas for how people can go about going to events because people don't really know who've never been, and it's scary. My first event was NEC, like NEC 2013 or 2012. I don't know. I think it was 2013. I think I was out of high school. Yeah, NEC 20 in 2013, and it was I went to the Marriott Hotel in the Philadelphia airport, and our room, you know, not everybody going has a bunch of money. There's some people who have money, there's some people who don't. I didn't. I had a job, but I didn't have a lot of money, and I was under a sponsorship back then for this company, and I stayed in a room at the Marriott, and there was 14 people staying in a two-bedroom room. Now, I know a lot of people are like, "That's gross. That's horrible. That's disgusting." Yeah, if you go to FGC events, expect that. Like, expect for some rooms to have. There could be suites that have like 20, 30 people in it. Okay, I've seen it. I've been in there. I've stayed in some of those. That's how it is sometimes. You're not there to sleep. Most people are there to enter, compete, and try to level up and win. That NEC, I don't even think I entered. I did enter, but I didn't read the rules right. I didn't have like a computer back then. So I went, this is another big point. Uh, Read the damn rules for tournaments, all right? I went to NEC, I entered KOF 13 and Street Fighter 4. I think it was Super back then, like it was AE 2012 is what it was. And I entered and I did shitty. I went 2-2 in Street Fighter 4 for my first tournament. I got double jeopardy by a Balrog player. I beat a Ken and I beat a Rufus, I think. No, it wasn't a Rufus. It was something. I beat a Ken and somebody else. It might have just been two Kens. You know, not everybody's that good. I sucked like a lot back then, but I went 2-2, and I entered KOF 14. Now I was an Xbox player, so I had my Xbox controller, and back then I used to use a wireless controller. I was really new. All right, and KOF 13 was on PlayStation 3, and I wasn't aware of that. So I tried to use a PS3 controller for the first time, and after I played KOF, it's a three versus three character game. After my first character died, and I started playing with my second character, and I couldn't move, I couldn't dash, I couldn't do anything, and I just wasn't comfortable. So I just said, "Look, man, I can't fucking play on this thing." This was before the tournament started. This was like in casuals and warm ups if you're a Smash person, whatever the fuck you want to call it, friendlies. So yeah, I was like, I can't fucking do this. And the tournament was starting in a few minutes, so I just dropped out of that one. I didn't know back then you could ask for your money back, but yeah. So let me start this rules list from the beginning and make it more coherent, cohesive. I don't know the word. Make it more tolerable so you can actually learn something. If, in case you don't know, um, have a room. It doesn't have to be a room by yourself. You can have a room that has 10 people in it, or a room that has just you, or a room that has 20 people in it. I wouldn't recommend it that much to have those many people in it, but you can do that. Have a room and make sure everyone in the room, for the most part, is paying for the room. A lot of people get a room and they don't know who's staying in it sometimes. Other people bring other people into the rooms because you're just throwing out room keys, and it's a fucking mess. And you people end up losing their I losing their personal belongings due to theft or just losing them. All right, which is most likely theft at events. Not that theft is that prevalent, but it's prevalent enough. You don't know everybody, so have a room, have some friends, have everybody pay for it, and make sure you map that shit out. Like know what you're doing when you show up at that fucking hotel. Know where you're sleeping at that night. It's the worst when you don't know where you're sleeping at. I've slept in lobbies, like hotel lobbies. I've slept in suites. I've slept. I've never slept in a bathroom. I've slept I slept in closets. I've woke up on people's beds. Not like in like a sexual way, you just wake up on somebody's bed. Plinking. That was at my first event, NEC 2013. Woo! I slept on floors a lot. I woke up hugging people's feet. You know, you're in a room, you're cold, you don't got a cover, you fall asleep. I guess your body just reacting. You're hugging somebody's feet for warmth. That's how it goes. So don't end up like that all the time. Try to have a room and have somewhere to sleep. Secondly, get your badge and check in early. Don't be a bum who waits. If check-in starts at 8, get there at 7:45. Get there at 8. Be there. Get your badge. Go back to your fucking room. You don't want to have to get there at 11:45, 11:30, 12:10, and pools start at 12:31, and you should already had your badge. You should already been fucking in there, cause nobody cares. It's a competition. Nobody cares. Nobody's supposed to care if you're not in it. You paid for it. You showed up. You just didn't show up to actually play on time. That's on you. For any competitive thing in the world, that's on you. So make sure that you actually get your badge. Know what games you're playing, and look at the look at the sheet for pools, the time for pools. Make sure that you know when you're supposed to play. Don't enter 15 games and three of them start at 3 p.m. and four of them start at 4 p.m. and some of them start at like 4:45. You're not going to enter all those games and be able to play all those games. Don't do it. You're going to get DQ'd. Enter what you have to enter and then enter some extra stuff. If people don't, you're not Sonic Fox, you're not Daigo, all right? If you don't have a name, they will DQ you. In my first tournament at NEC, it wasn't the NEC 2013, it was NEC 2014. I entered Unio, and I had my pool delayed by 6 hours and 45 minutes because I was waiting for a Japanese player. I didn't want to wait. I had the first pool for that game. I showed up at 12. I didn't end up playing my match, and I did not end up playing my match until I believe 5:45 or 6:45. The pool got delayed itself, and then my TO kept telling me we have to wait for that guy to show up so I can play my match. I was the first pool. I ended up being the last pool. When that Japanese guy got there, he said he was eating and he was asleep. Sorry. He should have got DQ'd. He didn't even have a name like that. He didn't, and yes, he did beat me. He beat me 2-1. But I waited in that room for like 6.5, 7 hours, and I got there before 12. I was just waiting for that entire time. And that guy, that TO did get handled. He did get, I believe he got let go, is what I was told. And they said they'll never let that happen again. But speak up and show up for your damn pools on time. Because if you do not have a name or that TO does not think you're important enough, because most of you aren't, all right, you will get DQ'd. Show up on time. Say something. Be annoying to those fucking TOs. Make sure that they know that you're there. The third thing is be prepared. If it's on PS3, if it's on Xbox 360, have a wired controller, not a wireless, unless you're on like PS4, which you got the Ethernet cables and all that. But back that's Bluetooth. Back then, I used to play on the Xbox 360 wireless controller. Those aren't tournament legal. Know those things. Ask. You can post on the event page and just ask. It might sound like it's a dumb question, but it's better to ask and look a little silly than to show up and not be able to play. All right, and keep count of your sets, man. Like if you won 2-0 and that guy's like keep playing, don't keep playing. Don't be like that guy fucking West Balls where he was playing. I think it was West Balls. He was playing Smash and they were doing button checks and the guy beat him in button checks and then the guy said that's one, as in he won the first match. All you gotta say is no, that was not the first match. That was button checks. West Balls, I believe if it wasn't West Balls, I'm sorry to West Balls, all right. But I believe it was him. He chose to be a dickhead about it and then say whatever. I don't care. I'm West Balls. I'm gonna body this guy. And then I believe what happened was he gave the guy one, and then he played a second one, won it, and then that guy won the third one. So he sent West Balls to the losers. And you know what West Balls did about it? He didn't hold it. He bitched about it and said it shouldn't have counted. You said it counted. You let it count. That's on you. Don't be a fucking bitch to these people. Don't let these people fucking treat you like that. Never let anyone bitch you like that. They're gonna say whatever they want to say. They're gonna try to intimidate you because it's a competition. Don't do it. You go find a fucking TO. You say no. You take your pad. You take your bag with you. Don't leave your bag. That dude will steal your bag. If he's trying to steal button checks, he'll steal your damn bag. All right. You raise your hand or you get up. You find the TO and you say what happened. You getting up, that guy's not gonna take the match. Okay. You did not just forfeit. As long as it's not like mid round. If it's mid round, like during the actual match, and he says some disrespectful, hurtful shit to you, don't just pause it and get up, okay? Because he will try to take the round, and I don't know what will happen there. Like if you're playing and he says like some really hurtful words to you, I don't know what you can do about that. All right, I don't think there's much you can do about that. But with this new esports world that we're in, he'll lose for doing that. So don't let these people fucking bully you. All right. I've heckled. I wasn't trying to bully, but I've heckled to hurt people's feelings during matches. I've done it. All right. But I've had it done to me also. Don't let it affect you. Don't let these people try to steal from you. Don't let them try to cheat you. You're here for you, and you're here to have fun also. Don't let them fucking ruin that. So yeah. Uh, what happened with me? I was playing this guy back at NEC last year in Guilty Gear. First match of Guilty Gear. It was this chip player. It was a white guy, chip player. That mic's kind of close. Ugh, I hope that wasn't too loud. It was this chip player. He was a white guy. It was Guilty Gear, and we sit down. He had a little bit of social anxiety things going on, I could tell. But the first match starts, and his pad's not working properly. He didn't set his buttons right, I think, or his pad's not working properly. It was PS3, so he's having some trouble. No, it was PS4, I think. It might have been PS3. It was PS3, and he's having trouble connecting his pad. And he stood up and said, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine. You can just take it, it's fine." Because he was afraid. Like he was upset. Not afraid of me per se, but just afraid of like being judged or having his feelings hurt. He was gonna give me the the match one. And most people would just be like, "Fuck, okay." Not most, a lot of people would be like, "Okay, yeah, fuck it, I'll take it." And I said, "No, man, come on, what's wrong?" And then he tried to explain to me that he couldn't connect his pad. So then I tried to help him. I got him a cord, and then the TO came over, got him a cord also. They connected his pad. We played the match. All right. I won that match, by the way. If I would have lost that match, I wouldn't have told that story as much because I'd be an idiot. I should have took it then. Well, not that you should have, but you know what I mean. You shouldn't give away wins all the time. If he pauses during the match and he's like, "Oh, my button's not working," you take that. You take that 100% of the time. You take that match. But that wasn't really like that was like he asked for a button. No, I asked for a button check, and he said okay, and it wasn't working during that, and he got upset. So I didn't take it from him, but I could have took the set. He just DQ'd himself. So don't bully people out here and show up for your pools on time. Make sure that you know what pool you're in. Have a room, bathe, bathe in said room, bring detergent, not detergent, I'm sorry, bring a soap. Let's open all that stuff there. Bring clean clothes, okay? And just bathe. Brush your teeth, bathe. Take care of yourself. Like, don't be a fucking kid. Take care of yourself. Even kids take care of themselves sometimes. Take care of yourself. Bring food or bring money. I tend to bring food because I live in Philly, so it's not much of a travel for me. I can take that food with me. I don't have to catch a flight to get to Big E stuff. But if you are taking a flight, I have taken flights. You can't bring a bunch of food with you. I get that. Bring money in case anything is gonna happen. Be prepared. All right. Have money. Have your phone charged. You know. Don't be stranded out somewhere with people who you don't know, with no money, stinking and salty, and just destitute. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. Don't be like that. All right. And have fun because it is an event, you know. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a competitive event, but there's also tons of the arcade room at events is awesome. All right. Big E's arcade room is dope. Uh Combo Breaker had 24-hour venue. That was dope. There's tons of rooms. You can go find people all the time. If you're traveling alone and you're thinking like I want to find somebody I can hang out with, should I ask people can I hang out with them? In a way, yes. The way I've always done it, I've seen it done a lot in Philly is somebody's playing a game, you sit down, you or you stand up, whatever. You ask, can you get next? Who has next? Where can you get in? You get in, yeah, you play. Now, there's a couple ways to go about it. You can either win, and that person, those people will try to talk to you, maybe because you're better than them, and they want to get to know you because you're better, or you lose, right? But you still talk, and you're still a nice guy. You're honest, you're chill. Don't force it. Don't force a relationship like that. Just be casual, be cool. You're all here to play fighting games. You already have that one done. All right? And then you just find people who are cool and you hang out and you chill. You get food. Yes, are they gonna get food? Maybe. If it's not too far away, I wouldn't recommend traveling like 10 miles with some guy you don't know. If it's like a Denny's, if there's like a Denny's across the street, like there is at Big E stuff, you can go across the street and chill at Denny's. You know, get some food. You don't have to go back to their room, but you can. I go to a lot of people's room all the time, and that's how I meet people a lot of times. Like, oh, there's Unio in room 415. You go to room 415, you play Unio and Blaze Blue. You talk to a bunch of people. Okay, you don't have to force a relationship. There's a lot of people out there. There's if you feel like you can't make a friend, I think that's bullshit. All right, I'm nice in general to people. unless you're fucking draw. But I'm next to people, all right? If you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to try to hit up, try to help find a room, I'll help you find a room. I'll help you find somewhere to go. Hit me up, all right? Tame Storm, whatever, all right? Just look for me. I'm that guy. You'll recognize me. I'm the guy who looks like Tame Storm, all right? I look kind of like I'm a black guy. I was gonna make a joke, but it wasn't really appropriate. But well, fuck it. My brother's Temple Nut. He's a black guy. He's like 6'2" maybe, and he was at Combo Breaker, and the Skullgirls player, the Purple Sharpie, said, "Hey, aren't you Breaker Dave?" No, she's talked to him like 6 times in person. She knows he's not Breaker Dave. She knows he's not Breaker Dave. Like, but she said, "Aren't you Breaker Dave?" And I'm pretty sure Breaker Dave. No, no, it wasn't Breaker Dave. Who was it? Rylander. She said, "Aren't you fucking Rylander?" And Rylander's like a bald white guy with glasses, I'm pretty sure. Rylander is cool. I like his Dawson. I like his Merkava. But he's not Rylander. They don't look anywhere alike. So, I look like the guy who doesn't look like Rylander, in case you want to help find me. In case you wanted help finding me. Alright? That's most of my advice for events. If there's any other questions or anything that you need to know about going to events, just hit me up. Um, any questions about anything, like just hit me up. Any advice, you need help finding anything at events, anything, I don't really care. I'm not that busy. Um, what else? What else? I think that's everything for events. Oh, I should have muted my phone. Got a freaking messenger alert thing. Let me turn that down right now. That shit is hot, is what the message says. From my man's Black Kyle. Anyway, alright, KOF 14 is dope. I'm loving the game. The balance is pretty good so far. There's some characters who could use some. Ooh, got a little loud. There's some characters who could use some tweaks, but overall the balance is pretty good right now. Some nerfs could be given out to, maybe not nerfs to these characters, maybe just buffs to other characters. But some nerfs could be given out to Leona, K Dash. Mature needs some buffs, some nerfs. Like, she cannot open people up. She has to try to chip you to death, make you block until she guard crushes you, which she's good at. But come on, you want to open people up with Mature too, right? So they could take away some of her plusness, some of her guard crush maybe, but give her something to open people up with. Like in 13, well, I don't know. I played her in 13, but she opened people up differently. Like there was no max mode, there was just random EXDPs, record frame traps like she has now. They could have blocked, but I don't really know how you open people up with Mature like that. Like I know how to do it, but I don't know what they could give her to make her better at it. But K Dash, Leona, Mature, Nakaruru, uh, who else? Athena. Athena needs some fucking nerfs bad. No buffs. No, I don't know. But give her some nerfs. Alright? She gets too much damage from a command grab in the corner. It's really ridiculous. She gets too much damage mid-screen. She does heavy punch into max mode, heavy punch, EX command grab into EXDP. That's a lot of fucking damage for like a four. You only did four things, you know? It's kind of dumb, but it's a good game though. It's a great fucking game. I got the full collector's edition. I fucking love it. The art book. I've looked through the art book twice already. Came in that giant box. There's so much art in the game. Like the gallery, I don't know. It's not like, I don't know if it's Blaze Blue size or what, but it's fucking huge, man. There's movies, all these fucking posters from the old games. I started getting my brother started getting those special character portraits. Team Beautiful Hair. If you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? That picture's godlike. I might post that picture as like the fucking thumbnail on this thing, cause that picture, I am. That picture's fucking godlike. It's worth it. It's fucking worth it. If I can find it online. If I can't find it online, I'm sorry for saying that. I'm sorry for saying that I would. But I've been playing Street Fighter 5 a bit. I have not played Guilty Gear in so long. I'm gonna get back on it soon though, cause I really like Guilty Gear. I just hate the Guilty Gear. Should I say? I hate what the Guilty Gear community is overall. There's a lot of people who they don't mind, I guess, sharing videos sometimes of what they know, but a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people I've met in the Guilty Gear community don't like helping other people. They might tell you how to do something like, "Oh, what you should do is this," but that's not necessarily helping. Like I'm asking, like they don't like to help. Like maybe it's just for me because for my local scene, my Guilty Gear community was always on and off, and the one guy who always traveled down was Lord Knight. And Lord Knight's kind of known for not sharing the most tech. But when I met him, he kind of shared some tech, but he wasn't like the most open guy about trying to help you. He wanted just to kind of come in, play, get some money, strip, and route. And that's kind of been the vibe, and that's what I've always heard he's like, and a lot of other people are like in that community. Not that I dislike that they're like that, I just don't like that they're like that. They're not helping. And so a lot of people in the Guilty Gear community who aren't very good or they get frustrated because they're not nobody's really helping them. And there's not as many videos. There's Dust Loop and stuff like that. I used to go on Dust Loop a lot, but there's not as many videos or just people. The information may be out there. I'm not saying that it's not, but there's not a lot of people who come out just to try to help people and also do well. They kind of just seem like it's always one or the other. The amount of people who want to help are few and far in between. The most help I get from Guilty Gear players is during commentary. You listen to Mr. Biscuits, he'll straight up tell you how to get through something, what that guy was going for, what that guy's mentality was, why he did that, and why it worked, and why you shouldn't let it work all the time. He breaks that shit down, man. And he'll do it in a couple seconds. And that's what I always liked about Guilty Gear commentary. Like, they will actually talk about the stuff a lot, and they'll help you in the commentary. Also, Mr. Biscuits, I think that's his channel. Typical East Coast. I fucking like those videos. They're pretty funny. They got some interesting stuff on there, so check it out. That wasn't. Now it's like I'm trying to give other people shout outs. I'm not really trying to give other people shout outs as much as I just like that fucking channel. So, yeah. So Guilty Gear is dope. It's hard to really play all the time if you don't have real information. A lot of people in the community, in my community, have turned to me for information. I don't have that much information. Go download Gunframe like I did and just learn by watching. And I was telling people some things, but they don't want to hear that. They want to just get the get good button, the get good book. How do I get good? Well, I can tell you to do better. I can't just tell you how to be good. There's no guarantee on success rates because you know some information. There's no guarantee on your success rate. You still have to implement it, and people don't want that. Actually, a Philly FGC Facebook page. Oh man, a lot of nonsense all the time, but a lot of dope people in this scene too. But I was talking to this guy about his matchups for Geef in Street Fighter 5, and I was asking him like his points on it. He's a cool kid. He's a cool kid too. But don't don't be that kind of don't go onto event hubs, click on the event hubs tier matchups for Geef, and just say this is my opinion for the fucking matchups for the game. That is not your opinion, okay? That is not your opinion. That's everybody's opinion who voted on that, and you're just copying and pasting it. You can have your own opinion. You can form your own matchups. You can form your own idea of how the meta can be played. You can do that. It may not be 100% right, but it's yours. Don't just take 1,700 other people's perspectives and say this is also my perspective because it's their perspective. Fuck that. Don't do that. All right. And that's what this kid did. And I didn't snap on him about it. I was just like, don't do that, man. Come on. Like, make your own opinions. I can help you if you don't understand how to go about making your own opinion. But that's hard to do because then I feel like I would somehow influence his opinion. But he didn't know how to really put what he thought, how he thinks the matchup works into a score system. Like, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 6.4, 8.2. He had 8.2 matchups on there. And I was like, okay, why do you think it's 8.2? And he couldn't tell me why. And I'm like, okay. But he's a cool kid. I'm not going to put his name out there or judge him for it. He's young. We were all young. Some of you still are young, but alright. I play Laura, by the way, in Street Fighter 5. Not the best choice I ever made, but I like Laura. She has damage. She has really fun fucking neutral, man. Like, if you space something really good with her, and then you make it pay off, it's like I'm playing not Street Fighter for a second. I like I like spacing and I like manipulation of what you can do in that space that they think that they have an option in it or they're not sure if they have an option in it. Like I like to do buttons that push back to certain ranges and then do heavy or light or medium thunderclaps. And I like to do heavy certain times, let people jab check or try to do a button. And then it'll hit and I'll do crouching heavy punch into, you know, medium elbow into knockdown. And it's like that worked because of them and you gave them an option, a few options, and they didn't have to press anything at all. But because they thought they could, and because you spaced it right, if they press what you think they're going to press in those spaces, it could be a few different buttons. You can leave pretty big gaps. If they press these things or aren't 100% aware of what you're trying to manipulate them into, you can fuck with them really quick. And Laura is good at fucking with people, so that's why I like Laura. Also, she looks cool, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to talk about. Oh shit, I watched that CM Punk match and I was hyped. You know, I went out to a sports bar. They had the pay-per-view match on like every TV. There was like 70 TVs in there. They had it probably like 60 out of the 70, and I was hyped. I was thinking I didn't think Punk was gonna win, but I thought Punk was. For those of you who don't know, CM Punk was a wrestler, and he fought Mickey Gall this past Saturday for a UFC event. I think it was 203 or 303, something. You know, it was up there. And Mickey Gall was taller, had farther reach, and is 14 years younger than CM Punk. He's also been training longer than CM Punk, from what I've heard. CM Punk's been training for 2 years. CM Punk, you know, nobody had faith in him like that. But I had some faith that he would be able to fight, but he never got the chance. Mickey Gall tackled him, put him on his fucking back, and just you know when they were first down, and Punk was like hitting Mickey Gall in the head, right? And Mickey Gall got up. He was like holding him down, hitting him in the face. Mickey Gall got up, and Punk was throwing some pretty solid punches, I would think. And Mickey Gall, I don't know the terms, you know, for professional fighting all that, but he got up and he threw these heavy fucking punches straight to Punk's face. Now Punk probably hit Mickey Gall like 7 times, and Mickey Gall threw 3 punches. It was over. Like he threw three of the hardest punches I saw that night thrown. All right, like he wanted to fucking end it just right then and there. And I think at that moment, that was when we all knew Punk had lost. He got put down, and then he was getting he was getting beat like to death. It looked like, and he actually ended up lasting on the floor for like 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 45 seconds, I think, which is really fucking. That's longer than I saw anybody else last on the floor that night, also. But he also got put on the floor faster than anybody else, I'm pretty sure, that night. So, you know, take that for what it is. But yeah, he didn't really stand a chance. He might just do amateur fights from now on because he's not an ultimate fighter. No disrespect, he's not an ultimate fighter. The amount of training he would have to complete and the age that he would be at compared to these people who've been doing it longer and just have that time. He doesn't have that time. It seems like or that health. He didn't look like he was in the best health also. And I am not hating on CM Punk. It's just he didn't look like he was in the best health. He got fucked up, you know. And once that happened, and he gave his speech, and it was cool, but that ruined my fucking mood for the rest of the night. You know, it ruined my friend's mood too. You know, we were talking about it a bit, and he just was fucking done. The other friend I was texting, he was fucking done. You know, yeah, it was just it was upset thinking about it right now. It's just upsetting. You know. Also, his face was fucked, man. It was just fucked. But what else is there to talk about? Let's see. How to go to events. We covered that, right? We covered that pretty well. Uh, talked about a little bit of Street Fighter, a little bit of KOF. Let's see. What was Street Fighter KOF? Guilty Gear. Oh yeah, the new Blaze Blue demo came out for Blaze Blue CF, and a lot of people are playing it. I own every Blaze Blue game. I love the art. I love the characters. I love. I never played the story like that. My brothers always played the story. I love a lot of the music, man. Oh man, the fucking like that game. Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger came out at a time when I saw that game, and it was the most beautiful fighting game I ever fucking seen. Like before that, there was only Street Fighter 4. I played fighting games in the past, but they were all old, you know. I played some Soul Calibur and some Tekken games. They were good looking games. This was like hand drawn, and it was fucking amazing, you know. And ever since then, I've bought every Blaze Blue game. I don't even play them competitively. I've never entered a Blaze Blue like regional major. I've entered like a few small locals, but that's it. But I fucking just love Blaze Blue. But there's so many characters and matchups I just don't have now. Like I would want to get into it. There's a lot of info out for that game, but I just don't think I can. And not to deter anybody else who wants to get into it. If you want to get into it, it's a good game to get into. I don't think I can because I play a lot of other games that I'm focusing on. And learning Blaze Blue would take a good amount of time. And I don't want to put that kind of time into it right now. But if I dropped KOF, dropped Street Fighter, dropped playing Uni, I haven't played Uni in a while. I basically dropped Guilty Gear, but I'm going back into it. And I want to play Star Wars after the patch. I'm gonna play a little bit before the patch too, but I definitely want to play after the patch. If I drop those games, and I still want to play Tekken 7, but I don't know. It's been so damn long that the Koreans and Japanese have had that fucking game. But if I would drop all those games, then I would play Blaze Blue. But Blaze Blue is a great game. If you want to play it, you should go fucking play it because it's awesome. But you should play any game that you really want to play. There's a scene that I can help people find scenes if you need help finding a scene, and there's just scenes for every fucking game. My brother and I's favorite fighting game is Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All Stars, and we still play it to this day, and we love that game. We're part of a Facebook group for. We were gonna go to Frosty Faustins, which is a Chicago generally anime tournament, just to play that fucking game. We got Blizzard in, so we couldn't end up going, but we were gonna go there just for that. 'Cause that well, we're gonna play other stuff too, but we were really hyped to go there just for that. And I do want to go back to I want to go to Frosty Falls since this upcoming year also, but the money's not looking too good for me right now, to be honest. Like I'm trying to save up for a car, an apartment. I'm talking about buying a car since I was fucking 18 or 19. Since I was 19, I'm 21 now. So not talking about since I was 18, I'm 21. That's been 3 years. You know, at some point you gotta just stop fucking talking about it and do it. You know. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. A car, apartment, this fucking podcast that I'm really happy that I'm doing. I know I don't sound that happy all the time, maybe on this podcast to you guys, but I really fucking love doing this. And I'm trying to work on displaying my personality, but still being a bit professional. But I don't know, man. This is fucking awesome to me. Like, this is just really awesome doing this. But anyway, that's pretty much the gist for this. For the jizz is what I said. I said that's pretty much the jizz for this week's podcast. Wow, that's pretty much the gist for this week's podcast. Um, it's pretty late at night. I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up for work tomorrow. I hope that the audio comes out for this. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I'm not talking about the most stuff. Oh man, I'm gonna start making lists in the future for topics to cover. And the thing is, I do have a list for ideas to go through, but I make them like Tuesday. Like I'll make one tomorrow, and by the time next week comes out, I won't have that same drive to talk about that thing because so much time has passed by, and it's only a week, but it's like at that point it's kind of old. Like I want to talk about like tips for punishing Nakaruru and stuff like that, but this video's out showing you, and I'll put all the stuff in the description. I'll put a love heart punish guy because she was frustrating me. I was gonna talk about that. It's really fucking stupid, but I'll put stuff like that in the description of future videos. But it's hard to try to keep that drive going for a week. But I'm gonna try to make sure I have more interesting topics to talk about on here. But that's all for this week. Um, Again, my name's Tamestorm. The next podcast will most likely be out by next week on Tuesday. And you guys have a nice week. Try to have good days, and just know that I do care about this community, the FGC. I know I said some negative things about it, but I do care about this community. I care about the people who try to do almost anything competitively, and know that you are cared about by somebody. All right. Be safe out here. Try to have a nice week. I'll check on you guys next week. And that's all.